We're going.
32nd. The Hangout is live. We're
We're
back.
we're back.
Okay,
We're
let's do an echo
back.
check.
Hi.
Echo. Echo.
Okay.
Woo! Holy fuck. Are we okay? Are we gonna be okay
I'll wait
after
for
that?
everything to kick in. I think we're good.
Well, we had 4 pretty radical shows. One minor thing. We're good though.
Okay, I want to make sure that we catch the sound on this.
Come back, guys.
Pre-show.
All 18 of you, please.
I grammed it.
Okay.
Yeah. Lock and key. Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's first though.
Yeah, let's do that.
37 minutes late. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay, so really
37
quickly.
minutes left.
This one right here, screwed up the last link because I put up the wrong link. It started issues and technical difficulties. There was a huge echo, and it sucked because we had a really good conversation talking about like how our week was. But fuck all that. Now you know who we are. After watching that first one. So
Fuck all that.
yeah. So it's Your Mom's Basement. It's episode 5. We're talking Lock and Key Volume 2 and Miss Marvel Volume 1 tonight. Your Mom's Basement is a interactive comic book chat show. So please join us in the chat. We'll talk. Basically, a week prior, we will let you know what we're going to read, and we all read it together. This also includes you watching this at home, or when it's archived on the YouTube video. Don't worry, we'll get to that in a second. And literally, we all get together and we talk about it, and it's pretty much the coolest fucking thing on the face of the earth. And it's really a great way to build a community and get people reading comics that we really feel like deserve a lot of attention, especially because something like Lock and Key, which has been out for a while, people want to talk about it. So we give them that home here. Also, if you didn't join us in the chat, don't worry, that's fine. These episodes get archived, and then you get to leave comments down below and see the video and join all that good stuff. Because even if you didn't join the chat, when you start doing the comments, it keeps that community going and keeps that conversation going so that you guys start meeting other like-minded comic book people just like you. Like I said, this was totally my fucking fault, guys. I'm so sorry, but we've got all the echoes taken care of. Savannah, with her just got off the Harley Davidson hair. And
No, it's called gym hair, not motorcycle hair.
Jim hair. And then also Ian rocking the awesome... it's so future tech. It's not even funny.
I am the offspring of Lady Gaga and Rudolph.
And I'm pretty sure if you search for that on YouPorn, you will find that video.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was the moment of conception when the almighty Ian was created, and we're all better for it.
That's my origin story.
Yes.
Okay, so we got the chat going. We had the echo taken care of. Brian, once again, I gave you the wrong link earlier. I'm pretty sure that was all my fault. I'm
By the way, Brian, you're hot.
By the way, Brian, you're really hot. You're probably going to come on to the show at some point.
Happy to come.
We had a talk. I was like, hey, that guy, get him back. Kirk, you're out of a job. So
inappropriate.
So inappropriate.
Okay, so we're just going to dive right into Miss Marvel Volume 1 as the first book we're going to talk about tonight. And this is a really great comic book. It's been out for a while now. It actually went, I think, 12 issues. Ian, I'm sorry about that number. And then the whole Secret Wars thing happened, and then it did relaunch with a new number 1 earlier this year. So if you're kind of a little confused on, well, which one are we talking about? We're talking about the very beginning, the introduction of this character, and G. Willow Wilson doing a great job writing this book. We'll talk about that and her history in a second. And basically, this is off the heels of Marvel Comics trying to elevate the presence of who the Inhumans are, and we get to actually see the origin story of a young girl who gets hit by the Terrigen Mists that give people that unlock their Inhuman powers. Much like the mutants, but we are not allowed to say the M word in Marvel anymore because they don't care about their mutants, and we don't care about our X-Men, and it sucks. So that's a whole thing. In any case, guys, why don't we crack this thing open? First thoughts on Miss Marvel. What did you think?
It was eye-opening.
Eye-opening?
Eye-opening.
So Savanna did not read this before. This was your first foray into it.
I read it an hour ago.
What do you like? First of all, the main character is Kamala Khan, and she's 16 years old, and she's Muslim, and she comes from a Muslim family who isn't necessarily like the Muslims that we see Donald Trump talking about because he's a fucking moron, dipshit, son of a bitch, fuck you, I hate Donald Trump. It's a very, very cool, brave move on Marvel to just put it out there in the forefront and kind of do the cultural diversity as far as their comics go and be all new and all different. Honestly, guys, like right off the bat, what do you think about Kamala?
I mean, 30% of the book comes from the table of a Pakistani family. So you can already imagine, like, there's a mom, there's a dad, there's siblings, and the siblings are all, like, insanely different. She has a best friend, and the best friend is, like, her own person, and everybody is their own person, and they go through, like, the way that they're going through high school and the shit that they have to deal with is done very well. Not how you would, like, I mean, it's cliche, kind of, but not. It's, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. You're going to have to tell me.
Right. Okay. So, Ian, how much do you, I mean, Kamala, what do you think about her?
I really love her. She's a little feisty little character. She's, okay, I'm going to have to take these off. I really like her. I really like this title. They did an amazing job at really portraying a Pakistani-American family, you know, and they just have the same problems any other regular family would have, you know what I mean? Like the older siblings kind of like a lazy fuck, and and she's very, coming into her own, and then she becomes, she gets her powers, and it's kind of, it's kind of cool that she's coming to her own, like just in herself, and then into her new inhuman life. And this is the perfect example of what every comic book should be, you know what I mean? Because a lot of comic books are just action, pow, wow,
Right.
You know what I mean? And this has action, and it also has a depth that a lot of comics lack. As you progress through the story, I'm not going to get too much into it because we're only talking about Volume 1, right?
Right.
In Volume 2, they start to touch in a lot of subjects that have to do a lot with, the current generations right now. But right now, Volume 1 is just super fun. Her just coming to her own, and I like it. I love it. I love Kamala. Right. She's feisty. She's spicy.
I love Kamala, especially because no matter how old I get, she will always be me. She'll always be like a comic book fan person. She writes Avengers. She writes Avengers fan fiction. She's like totally a fangirl about the superheroes in her world, and that's something right away easily I'm gonna relate to, because no matter how old I get, I'm always gonna be that comic book fanboy, and I like the fact that it puts that right up front and center. I thought that was really cool. Also, like Ian was saying, I think this was a really good point, that so many #1 comics now, especially coming from Marvel, are very much, they put the action in the very first issue and they start telling the story backwards about who the person is, just to grab readers. With G. Willow Wilson, she did this really great thing about, I like the fact that she's naturally telling the story in chronological order, and she's really relying on the reader to trust that journey. I love the fact that the first issue, it does like kind of explain her origin story and how she disobeys her parents to go to a party. She sneaks out of the house, and that's when one of the Terratron bombs goes off for the first time. And I like that slow build. I like the fact that it wasn't just, so here I am being a superhero, but let me tell you about my story. Well, it's just like 3 splash pages of her fighting. I like that this is a chronologically told story, and she's really trusting the readers to stick along with it. So that's actually, Miss Savanna, so when you read the first issue, not knowing that you've got the rest of the trade to read, is the first issue something you really want to go, okay, cool, I want to know more about this character?
Yeah, definitely. It hooks you, it pulls you in. It's very entertaining, and the art is really, really, it reminds me a lot of, not like a children's storybook, but like, it's got a storybook feel, but then like when it comes to like a close-up picture, you can see like the depth of her eyes, and there's a little bit of darkness to certain panels, like when the Terrigen mist goes off, the way like that whole scene, almost kind of like a Chew type vibe. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I like that.
If Chew was a little bit softer and more like of a storybook, you know, like this is a book I would totally give my kid though.
Totally.
Like,
totally. I kind of want to show up this arm really
quickly.
quickly.
They should read this book in schools.
Oh, you know what? This is something I like. I'm so glad. I always trust Savannah on this because she's got a little one. I love that when she reads stuff, she's like, "Cool, I can pass this on to my kid." Because that's
Yeah.
something like I think, especially when comic books are so geared towards people our age now, that they
Hmm.
don't look at the younger kids in the audience. That those are the people you kind of need to be making comics for in the first place, so that they actually grow with the comic books and become like lifelong readers. Because reading's just good in general. Savannah's absolutely right. This is totally a pass this on to a child who wants to read and loves superheroes or loves science fiction or fantasy or like that
Well,
fantasy realm.
a little bit of research when you get your kid a comic book. If you're gonna get something because the cover like catches you, like that's the point of, cover art or variant cover art. It's supposed to suck you in, but
Right.
do a little bit of research. Like know your kid, know what your kid wants to read, and actually get a book that your kid will want to keep reading instead of turning your kid off of something that they're not gonna like because it's boring or not age appropriate. You know.
Hmm. No, absolutely. And I also love the fact that it really is kind of written for people like us. Other cool thing I thought, and you can agree or disagree, kind of open to that conversation. I think Kamala's the new Peter Parker. Like, it's so rare that we actually get to see a new character created. And she's kind of like Peter in that sense. Like, when
Totally agree with that. And I like the character, the gas station kid. I like that character a lot. Bruno.
done being parents.
Yeah.
And,
He's the best friend, right? The male best friend.
oh, no, I'm talking about Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I think, like, Kamala kind of really parallels that story of Peter in her own story, but it's just like not the typical Wasp uh, superhero that we were so used to in the '60s.
Mm.
Totally.
And I also really just God, I Savannah nailed it. I love the art. I love that every character is like. Do you really get the sense that that they picked an artist who genuinely knew like I'm gonna draw really great facial characteristics that you immediately like. I feel like it doesn't do a disservice to the fact that she's Pakistani. I like the fact that her entire family is drawn very Pakistani and not like whitewashed.
No, it's very,
Mhm.
very accurate. That's a lot of what sells the story. Like,
Hmm.
sells the feel of the story. Like, you feel her mom yelling at her because if you've ever been in a Pakistani house, that's how they are. They fucking yell at each other all day long. Like,
And,
it's
and
not
they're
even a racist thing. Like, I grew up with a couple of like girls from Afghanistan, and I could hear their moms
It's
from
not a racist thing. It's a family
the
thing.
family thing.
Yeah, I think it's really. I mean, so many people don't realize there are nationalities that you grow up in a family home. Like the family is a unit that sticks together. Like, and that's why sometimes you have one or two kids to a bedroom because one, they're just not ready to move out of the house, and also there's because of traditional
They
like.
just keep their kids close until they're 50.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Which is, I mean, that's how those parents were raised. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So,
But okay, let's talk about the serious stuff.
okay.
When are we going to see a Rainbow Toots spinoff? Yes. I want Rainbow Toots back. I was really sad when Rainbow Toots died. I'm alone in this. I will write my own damn fan fiction if I have to. I will post it for free.
Fact.
Okay, so we need to talk about what Ian's talking about right here. This is the fan fiction that Kamala writes, and it's the Avengers and Rainbow Toots. And let me see, can we see Rainbow Toots? Am I close? Where am I?
Let's
There.
see.
Hold on one second. Rainbow Toots has been killed by this giant monster demon that is in Kamala's fan fiction. And I kind of want to know what Rainbow Toots' backstory is. I also really am interested to see how they resurrect Rainbow Toots, because obviously comic books, someone has to come up with a really great resurrection story. Ian,
Do you
good
see this
point.
right here on my screen? Am I sharing the comic?
Yes, you are.
This is Rainbow Toots. This is the meaning of my existence, and I want it back.
There's an entire comic there, an amazing story that we don't even know. Like, I feel it's really unfair that they teased it and they never ever revisited the concept ever again
I
for 12
know.
issues. We need a write-in campaign right now, Marvel Comics. We want Rainbow Toots back. Bring back
Yes.
Rainbow Toots. Hashtag Rainbow
I
Toots.
we will
Hashtag
be the
Rainbow
only ones
Toots
buying.
lives.
But yes, Rainbow Toots, the resurrection.
And Ian, keep that up and kind of talk about that a little bit because I want people to see that that screen you had.
Which one? The Rainbow
The
Toots one or the one
no,
where they're in the
no, the one
panel?
you've got right now.
Oh, this one. Well, mom comes up to your room, and it's like dinner's ready, and then she's like, "No, I'm too busy writing fan fiction." And this really just epitomizes the relationship that the family has, an all American. Oh no, go back. All American family that banters together. You know what I mean? And go back. There we go. And then this is the brother. I don't know if you can see him over here, but
Things I love about the brother, he's very super religious. He's very into he's saying prayers all the time. He's wearing traditional religious garb, and like you said, like a traditional American family. I like the fact that it's just a Pakistani family that lives in America, but the dad is just like, yeah, okay, all this prayer is great, but when are you gonna get a goddamn job?
Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be really.
exactly.
Have you prayed for a job yet? Maybe you should try praying for a job. And
Here's the dad.
yeah, and I think you could easily swap out any skin color in that scene. That would just look like that person's family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. Realistic.
You can't really see. I don't know how to work this screen sharing thing yet, but there's this little panel where Kamala's kind of like giving her parents attitude, and then the father just goes, "You are excused straight to your room and stay there until you find your manners." And she's just like, "Fine." You know what I mean? Like, how many of us have actually done that to our parents? You know what I mean?
Upstairs, slam the
Go to
door.
your room, fine. And then what does she do instead? It sneaks out.
I mean, that's just her being a teenager. That's something we all did, like straight up.
I think it's unfair though that she sneaks out, but then she's rewarded with awesome powers because that did not happen to me.
That's right. When she gets her powers, is that time she sneaks out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I think it's Marvel Comics is sending the completely wrong message. Go disobey your parents, and then you get to become a superhero. Oh, you know what, Ian? That's a really good. Can we bring up how cool it is when she's having the vision of the Avengers when she's going through the Terrigen Mist transformation?
This one right here. Oh,
yes.
How can I share the entire thing though? It's a beautiful, beautiful page, but how?
I think it's really important to point out. I like the fact that whatever her hallucination or her fantasy is when she's starting to go through these transformations, so she doesn't know exactly what's happened to her yet. She had like literally her first sip of alcohol, and now she thinks she's super wasted. And I like the fact that it's what's that?
She spit it out.
She tasted it.
Drink it. She tasted it, and then she spit it out. And she says that she's like, "Can I be drunk from spitting out alcohol?"
Yeah, and now she's hammered. That's exactly how it works in real life, by the way, guys. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Her naivety is really charming. You know what I mean? Like her look on things is just very naive and very charming, and it's really cute. I don't know how to show the entire page on this screen sharing.
No, I like it. It looks great, and I'll I just get people a better idea. It's kind of cool because it's like each Avenger is kind of representing a different god or goddess in the way they are posed. And I also love the fact that each one is really pictured in a very peaceful, very welcoming, not threatening, like their posture. Like everything is very, like it represents like all the different gods of like love and peace and knowledge and very like welcoming. I thought that was a really cool. That was a little something I took away from that panel.
It sheds a little bit of light on her like outlook on life. Like that's how she would see it, because she's such like a positive person normally. So her being freaked out the whole like first volume is kind of funny because she's like paranoid and panicking, and like she's very naive and very optimistic, but she's super aggro at the same time. She's always on the defense kind of about everything. It's funny.
I love it. God, guys, read this comic. Other cool things. What else do I want to talk about? Where else do you want to go with this? Because we're talking about our origin story, and I don't know how many people actually read the book with us while we're trying to do this little thing. But especially in the chats, guys, hit us up with like some questions or things you want to talk about, or you want us to comment on, because that's what we do this for. So go hit that chat up. I want to talk about how her friends, and especially the arrogant, stuck-up cheerleader, how other people automatically have these assumptions about her in her school.
Yeah, the white girl cheerleader looked very ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. That's exactly how she came off, and she acted that way, and they portrayed it that way, and then who was it? Her friend saying she was being mean on purpose, like her ignorance wasn't ignorance, it was her being mean on purpose. And
it was like her being spiteful but PC.
Yeah, like oh, did you really? You know.
Yeah, like the thing I wanted to do, like when I wanted to like reach in and slap that character, she goes, "Oh, but you smell like curry, so I'm gonna stand over here." It's just like, oh, fucking hated that. You guys have people like that when you're growing up?
Don't like her. I don't like her.
No.
Didn't Kamala end up saving her at the end of the night?
Yeah, that was the first person she saves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the very first people. Oh, also something really cool, because the reason why I want you guys getting in on this is because the series hasn't changed since the new #1. So we really do get to see the evolution of some of these characters, and she's one of them. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, because we'll go back and talk about it later. But
we'll go back and spoil it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later when you come back for another episode. We talk about it. But there is something so fantastic about, you both Ian and Savanna were talking about how these characters are so very well developed, and there's nothing dated about them. It's very, very current. They do have certain layers, and I don't want anyone to look at a certain character in this comic book as just like on the peripheral and then they're a throwaway thing. Everything about this comic is very, very methodically thought out. And I love the friendships, and I love some of the interactions. Like, who are some of the other characters that you really liked when they came in and out of this comic? I know we should have talked about this before.
I like the way that everybody starts, like as Miss Marvel, like her blonde form and the boots, because in her vision to Captain Marvel's like, so who do you want to be? And she's like, well, I want to be you, but with way cooler boots and the unconventional like superhero costume. Like, I want to look rad as shit. And then when she turns into her superhero for the first time, she looks like the blonde Miss Marvel that we all know and love.
Carol Danvers, yeah.
Yeah, in the bikini with the thigh-high boots, and she's like, I have never even owned a pair of thigh-high boots ever in my life. And then she comes to like a realization where she's like, I have this gnarly wedgie, and I fucking hate these boots.
I'm showing. Hopefully I'm showing it.
You got it. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
You're on it.
I'm getting better, guys. I'm getting better.
No, dude. Okay, guys. I don't know if you know this or not. I rely on Ian for so much on this thing, and he doesn't even realize it. Dude, thank you so much. Ian's the one who figures stuff out and teaches me about the internet. My age shows when I do this. So, no, it's the fucking truth, man. He's like, by the way, we can live stream, and then I look at this 5 weeks later. So,
I thought it was just the eye candy of the thing.
See?
Just kidding. But another thing, one thing I did want to bring up about Miss Marvel, it's just how educational it is. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about, the culture, so it was really fun to get little, educational sections throughout the comic. I think it's on issue 3 when she has to go to lecture. Mm-hmm. And it really did stick out to me how, the men and the women are separated. And the men have to sit with the sheik. I please don't be offended. Yeah. But
like you said, it's pulling it up. We're learning.
And it was really interesting to see how the men are kind of, you can see here, I think I'm showing it over here, where the men are sitting around the Sheikh Abdullah. I don't know if Sheikh is the title and Abdullah is the name, but I'm just going to call him Sheikh Abdullah. And the women are separated by a barrier, kind of like a little privacy thing. And, you know, Kamala being the little, you know, the little troublemaker that she is, she's kind of like talking during lecture. And then the Sheikh Abdullah's like, you know, please be quiet. And then she, in her little way, she turns this moment where I'm just like kind of awkward, you know, because there's segregation going on, and of course there's also a favoritism towards men, which is almost in like every religion. And then she just says, you know, sorry, Sheikh Abdullah, it's really hard to concentrate when we can't even see you. And then she turns that awkward moment for the reader into this just funny moment, and I don't know, I really like that too.
Oh, actually, I think it's a great point because, like you said, it's just the way they set up the panel. It is this reveal because you think, from your point of view as the reader, that they're all in the same room, and it isn't until that moment that you realize, like, oh no, they are divided, and it's still you know, weird traditional family values that sets that up. Yo, dude, Ian, good catch on that. I like that.
And then she's like, when her friend is like, we're not talking right now, and they fucking dip for Slurpees because they can't see them anyway. That is amazing. I love that.
Every time Kamala ditches, something great happens to her. Still sending the wrong message. For her, she gets Slurpees.
Anarchy.
I want to go hit the chat really quickly. I thought there's some pretty cool stuff here. Apollo Yellow, welcome back, dude. Also, thank you for that awesome fan art. He was talking about the splash page. Kind of is like the reason why people read comics. This hero welcomes us to be our own heroes. With the meeting of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, in her kind of like in her vision. I think that's really cool. I like the fact that the person that she idolizes actually kind of looks at her and goes, no, be your own person. Idolize me, but like do your own thing. I think that was really cool. Oh yeah, and Brian's absolutely right. We've got the awesome Wolverine side adventure. That was really.
Is that volume 2?
What's that?
Is that volume 2?
I think it is volume 2. It's at the end of this volume, that kind of she does a solo team up adventure, and it's her very first team up, and it's Wolverine just kind of like, oh dear God. Well, we definitely need to talk about that when we talk about it again.
I really want Kamala to be, you know how Wolverine always has like a little companion at times? Mm-hmm. I really want Kamala to be that next companion because they are just so awesome together, Wolverine and Kamala. But I guess we can't go into it too much because Savanna hasn't read it.
Oh, but okay, so to let you guys know, this is why you need to read the second volume. Like, everyone knows that Wolverine's always got like a young teenager girl sidekick. So the Kamala Wolverine thing makes perfect sense. It's really fucking awesome. We'll talk about it one day. I promise. Yeah. So, and then, Lazarus. I always love when you're here. He says, honestly, he felt that the cultural aspect wasn't present enough, that maybe sometimes it's just him unable to see it from a white person perspective. Ooh, that's really interesting. I like that, too. That's a really good point. Maybe they're trying to kind of show the viewer like what we see, and it's not all that different from what they see, too. God, what else can we talk about this comic? Like, what?
Can we talk about the tension, the end of issue 3, where, you know, she... spoilers. Okay, you guys, this is a book club. Read the material.
Yeah. We kind of dance around it, but seriously, do it.
But the ending of issue 3 where she takes a bullet to the gut. Oh, my God. I remember when I read it the first time, I was in shock. I didn't know how to react. Because literally in 3 issues, I fell in love with her. I am head over heels for Kamala Khan. You know what I mean? So yeah. And you don't exactly know how her powers work yet, if she's going to make it through this. And like, there's a lot of ifs in the air because she's still learning. But then when she takes a bullet to the gut, it really affected me.
And especially, like, it's her first time trying to go out and be a superhero. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, dude, it is kind of like, I'm trying not to use a pun like, oh, it's a punch to the gut. Like, it's the one to do that, but. Thank you, Savanna.
You're welcome.
this panel right here. Savannah, what did you think? Tell me. Did you freak the fuck out like I did? Because I cried.
I was like, she's got magical healing powers. She has to have magical healing powers. That's instantly what I
How
thought.
could you have known that? Are we supposed to
Because
know
it's
that?
a comic book. Hello. I don't think they're gonna
Okay,
kill
well,
her off
I
in
did
the
not
first
know that.
one.
Because comics,
This-
guys.
Because comics.
Yeah.
And
You-
okay, so Savannah did touch on this. She does have a healing factor.
Mhm.
So yeah, and she turns into like a little piggy because she has to like eat a lot to kind of recoup. She's like she eats a lot. Every time she gets hurt, like really really hurt, like she just pigs out on everything. Which that's something I do every day, so I relate.
Dude, I just want awesome healing powers so that I have an excuse to eat everything. Like, I need that. I want that in my life.
Lift more.
Savannah's like
you'll
convinced.
you'll need the healing powers for that.
Okay, Savannah's convinced that she's gonna get me to start working out more. I'm terrified of this.
I just said morning, and you said no. No. Okay.
Don't do it.
No, mornings are no. It's okay. No screaming.
Also, I really like the fact that the very first adventure. Oh, by the way, we should talk about her powers before we do that. She's got these really cool powers, but she's kind of stretchy. Like she's not quite Reed Richards stretchy, but she
Well,
can
I
make.
thought she can like imagine whatever she thinks she does. So like she thinks her hand gets big and her hand gets big, and she's like shrink, 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 or whatever she says. She has like magic words almost. Like she can make her whole body bigger, like
Right.
Alice in Wonderland filling the house type shit. And then she like thinks smaller, thinks little thoughts, and gets a little.
And I love the term. It's like every superhero has their like their tagline. Like the thing is it's clobbering time. Johnny Storm, it's flame on. I fucking love that hers is embiggen.
It's cute.
Which actually makes perfect sense for who they've created in Kamala. I love it. I love like that's kind of made a whole lot of sense for me.
Super quirky.
I also really love the first adventure. It's her trying to like seriously help just runaways and lost kids. That was one of the
Yeah. That is kind of like the introduction to like the big bad for Volume 2 because, well, see, I'm having trouble seeing what is in what issue because there are kids disappearing.
Right.
There are kids disappearing and you don't really know where they're going and her trying to, I think didn't it start by her trying to rescue a friend?
Yeah,
and she
only
ends up at this cabin.
Yeah, only to find out that the friend doesn't want to be rescued. So she does investigate these kids that are going missing, and when she actually finds one, it turns out that they didn't necessarily go missing. They're all runaways, but they've found, like, and I don't want to say like a home, but they found like their own little group of people who, and when we get introduced to the bad guy, that they kind of ran away for a reason. Like they purposely ran away, and they don't want to go back home because they think they actually belong to a bigger thing than them. And it's a really cool, interesting story about how the bad guy essentially just draws on teenagers' insecurities and uses them against themselves, and he takes advantage of it. Which and it's a whole new bad guy, and I love the character design. It's so weird and quirky. Like everything about this comic is. Yeah, please.
Runaway, predator, person, cult leader. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you see, like,
it's kind of like a cult leader.
Cult leader, typical runaway, like, I will shelter you and be your shining beacon.
And he's got a parrot head.
And he has a parrot head.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys like my natural form?
I like it. It's different.
It's just so weird to try to take that character seriously, but actually, when you see how they write the character, you start taking him very, very seriously, even though he's got a parrot head.
Oh yeah, this character has so much depth. He represents
The Court of Owls.
He represents. Oh my God, we need to talk about that.
Yes.
Batman, Court of Owls.
Sorry for the detour. I take it back.
Add it to the list, guys.
Oh.
Okay, so parrot guy, taking him seriously because he's really fucking scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Roger that.
And I just want to keep going back. I really think that Miss Marvel deals with it feels contemporary. it feels very real. It feels like these kids are something that actually are people that could be based on like friends or other people that G. Willow Wilson maybe have come across, or like she's watching like her friends and her kids' friends deal with these situations. I can't talk about. I love how contemporary and real and thought out these characters are, and I also just like keep going back to it. I think some of the art is the best art that I've seen in Marvel in a while. Especially if you love indie art, this is really for you. Especially if you like. Oh, someone said it, and I want to bring it up. Someone was saying like it feels like '60s kind of weirdness Spider-Man, but in a really like modern contemporary world. And I fucking love that. And there's so much I want to talk about. Like I want to talk about when like Lockjaw shows up. We can't do that because it wasn't.
Oh no! Fucking wait.
Yeah. So it just the series actually only gets better and better. So we will talk about it in a later episode. But I want this to go up now, and I want people to go find the first trade. I think it's not nearly as expensive. Also, Comixology is always doing specials on it, and I really want people to find it.
Use Amazon. Use Amazon. Amazon always has great deals on volume ones, especially on Image. They have really great. Like you can get the volume ones on. What?
Doesn't Amazon own Comixology or something? You can I log into my Comixology with my Amazon.
I like to have the hard copy. If you're talking hard copy, then use Amazon.
Oh yeah, like buying it and shipping it. I don't want to wait. I don't want to
Also, before you think like, oh, it's so easy to go order this stuff, Amazon also offers used copies, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's definitely a doable possible thing.
So, Savanna, how many Rainbow Toots out of Rainbow Toots do you give Ms. Marvel?
Out of Rainbow Toots, I give it 10.
Yes! A second 10!
That's 2 in a row!
Yes, Queen!
There's nothing I don't like about it. Like, the only reason it would take away points is when I can pick things off of it, like things that I personally don't like. And it's well written. The art is good. It's entertaining. You want to read more, and I would give it to a kid. So as a Marvel book leveled on that level, it's good.
Honestly, before we were doing this episode, I was like, I really want to be critical of this, like because it's a book club. Like, let's talk about things that we didn't like, and it's so hard to bring anything up because Savanna nailed it. There's really nothing to hate on this thing.
Unless you're a racist asshole, then go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. If you're voting for Trump, you would hate this book, and also don't fucking watch our videos. I hate you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, sorry, I'm a dick.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. My friend Frida's here. It's good to see her. Frida's awesome. She says that Kamala is perhaps the most realistic portrayal of a teenager I've seen in comics. She actually does homework. So that makes a lot of sense. Frida's also one of my cool comic book friends, and eventually, when we all sync up and she's write a book that we have, I'd like to have her on the show sometime. You guys would get a kick out of her. I love her. I actually blame her. She's the one who's like, Kirk, you really do need to give Gem and the Holograms a chance. And I kind of looked at her and went, you're fucking kidding me.
Wait, the movie?
No, the comic book.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the live-action movie, and I was like...
No. She got me onto the comic book, and I picked up a few issues. And I gave it to my friend's niece, because she was a huge Gem fan. But the artist on it is Sophie Campbell, and I have fallen in love with her art. And I want her to draw... See, Savanna, yeah. Like, I think she also does Ninja Turtles. Like, this is why we do this.
I fell in love with Sophie from the revival of Glory. That story, I really love Glory. If you Yolanda, actually, I don't know if she's in the chat still, but she bought it and she loves it. So you have testimonials. Please go get it. Glory. I'm sure Amazon has a great deal on the first volume. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Sophie Campbell.
I want everything to be drawn by Sophie Campbell now. Like I will go under her DeviantArt and I just watch it. I will stream like it's Tumblr for about a half hour. She's fucking moved. But Frida is telling everyone not to see the movie though.
Yeah, don't. Agreed, Frida. Agreed. Don't do that. The movie is not.
What were they thinking? Like, what were they thinking?
That's what
Oh,
I
I
say
don't.
about the new Fantastic Four movie. What were they thinking?
I love that the only negative thing that we could bring out of this Miss Marvel comic was well, we have nothing bad to say, so fuck the Gem movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want us to hate on stuff? Then let's talk about the live action Gem movie.
Okay, you know what? We'll do an entire episode just hating on it. Well, I'll get drunk and just like riff tracks it and just make fun of it.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
we should do the audio with commentary.
Yes,
Oh man.
yes, we should.
Commentary.
Yes, we
And a
fucking
drinking
should.
game.
We're gonna make this like the greatest like comic book community ever. You guys don't even fucking know what you're in for yet. This is only episode 5. So, I hopefully we've got people fucking hooked on Miss Marvel. If you're just watching, just trying to figure out what the book is, I'm sorry that we did give spoilers, but do the homework. Ian's absolutely right. Go buy Miss Marvel, get caught up, because in future episodes we are going to talk about Volume 2. I think the first 12 issues are Volumes 1 and 2, and they're going to collect the new issues that just came out. Because now, after Secret Wars, she's got her fucking wish. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but she's an Avenger now, and it's Mark Waid is
I
writing.
just got chills.
What's that?
I said I just got chills. Miss
Yeah.
Marvel.
So I know I got goosebumps. She is an Avenger, and Mark Waid's writing that series, and I actually really appreciate what he's doing because Kamala is such a special character to me. And I was like, don't fuck this up, Mark Waid. Mark Waid's doing a great job with her. I'm really, really glad that he's respecting the character. So get on the freaking Miss Marvel bandwagon with us, along with, 10 out of 10 Rainbow Toots from Miss Savanna. So this is how it fucking works, guys. Anything else? Are we good?
We're good. I really want Savanna to read Volume 2 because that's when we really get into the philosophy and the depth that I was talking about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, that villain probably has to be one of the most interesting villains that I've ever read.
Yes, and I think especially if you're following Marvel right now, and I know it's hard. I know for the rest of us that just love our X-Men and we're really unhappy with what the mutants are doing. And I'm not. I liked when the Inhumans were in like their own little pocket corner of the universe. There
It
are
made
two.
them special. That's what made them special.
Yes, it was a big deal when they showed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are 2 Inhuman titles that I really do love. Miss Marvel is one, and Karnak's the other. Savannah just went crazy for Karnak. I already know. I don't even need to look at the screen for that one.
That's the thing. The Inhumans are great. Just don't make them the next mutants.
Yeah, they're not the X-Men. They're not the mutants. But that's what
we're not
Gotten
hating on the
backlash for
Inhumans.
it.
yeah, that's what Marvel's trying to do with them.
Injustice. Injustices.
Injustice. Jackasses among us. Just kidding.
Fox, sell back the rights. Just sell back the rights already. You know what the worst part is? Freaking Fox is gonna see what Marvel does with taking back Spider-Man, and they're gonna go, shit, maybe we should talk to these guys about doing a joint venture. I really hope it happens. I also don't. I don't know. I just can't.
No faith in humanity when it comes to those type of things.
Mm-hmm. Evil. Anyways, fucking love Miss Marvel. Go pick it up.
So,
All right. So stretch it out. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
So
switch
lock
gears
in.
here. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette.
Just kidding. Love you.
I've tried. I've quit like 5 times already. I can do it again.
You can do it again. Do it.
Do it. Just
So, Lock and Key was pretty cool, guys.
Lock and Key.
IDW. For everybody who has not read Lock and Key, but again, I think I'm the only person in the world who has not read Lock and Key. But I'm reading it now, and it's really good. That's really good.
So I have no problem telling people right now, if you haven't read Lock and Key Volume 1 yet, stop the video and go back and do that, and then go watch our other video. But if you're here for the ride, and you're here every week, here we go, guys. We're going to do Lock and Key Volume 2.
I'll read it to you. Not really, though.
So Volume 2 opens up with, we saw, what's his name, Zach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zach was the Echo in the well. Zach laid waste, just terrorized the Locke family again. Also got a hold of the Anywhere key. Got its way out of the well using the Anywhere key. Then also we found out at the end of Volume 1 had the gender swap key. And now we open up with a completely on the loose gender swapped Zach, who used to be the Echo in the Well, and is now, I hate this, is now befriending the Locke family after everything.
And he was his dad's friend from the past.
Mm-hmm.
Past ghost person. This person is not, should be old and is not old.
Right. So I just talking about this right now already has me pissed off, because as I'm rereading the series, I'm realizing how much I fucking hate this character, because it's written so evil.
And I have no idea how evil yet. I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm. You don't even know how evil fucking Zach gets.
Like it
oh
seems,
my god!
It seems pretty bad right now, but like mildly bad. Like, okay, this is like a bad, shitty character. I must be like totally clueless. I have to read all of them. I have number 3 ready and waiting.
This is somebody who hasn't read the series yet, guys. Thank you, Savanna. Thank you, Ian. I'm so glad we're converting somebody. Okay, so where are we now? Zach has decided to move back in with a former Locke friend from the past, and it's this girl named, now I'm gonna forget her name.
Ellie, running coach, right?
Mm-hmm. The running coach.
The running coach, teacher at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And she is terrified of Homeboy. See her right here? She's scared.
Hate him. Now, who wants to talk about their previous history? Let's talk about her first. Let's talk about who she is.
She was dating in that picture. She was from the yearbook. She was with the past Zach character, and his name was Luke. It says in the picture before. So she was in a relationship with him of some sort this whole time, and he comes back and he's like, "Oh, remember I killed your mom for you." So all of that, how their relationship is totally unraveled in this book, and it's basically the core, I would say, of this book. And the book's called Head Games. And the picture on the front is the key that Bodhi found in the river, the head game, the head key. I guess it's called, right? The head key? There you go, little buddy.
Yeah, we're calling it the head key.
My little friend, I love him.
And as we start to discover who this character is, like, her life is kind of really tragic from the get-go.
Yeah.
I think we get introduced to a character who obviously has mental problems, as far as like either special needs or definitely is living life through a fantasy that only he's living in.
Her son.
Yes, it is her son, correct?
Yeah, it's her son.
We found out that the son was born with special needs, and then we come to find out that the son's father left at a very early age, just couldn't handle it.
Let's talk about the kid real quick.
Okay.
Guys, can I interrupt for a second? I'm gonna go do something really quick. I will be right back. I'm gonna leave it on this little page of Bodhi holding the head key, because that's where we left off last time, and I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. Okay. So, guys, open up the chat right now, because as Ian's leaving, we're gonna rely on you to kind of like help us keep this conversation going. So where we're gonna talk? We're gonna talk about the kid.
Okay, so the kid talks to, he's like a military sergeant. He has these 2 toys. One's like a G.I. Joe looking kid dude, and the other one's like a robot. And he's always having a discussion with these 2 toys, like he's a sergeant, and he talks to his mom in like the same way, like he's like 10-4 and Roger that. And the mom, they flash back to Ellie, this character's mother, who Zach says he killed for her in the last book. And that's how he used his way to get back into her. Anyway, the mother is smoking in the house with the kid, and he's like, my ozone is compromised, and blah, 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 you shouldn't smoke in here. And the mom just tears him apart, and the mom tears the mom apart. And the kid has special needs, but the thing that he does is he just talks in this voice, and everything's a command, and everything is very militant. Vibes all the time.
It's almost like he's created this world that he feels very comfortable in, because that's how he's able to communicate with.
And he's very confident, and he knows exactly what he's saying, and his mom responds to him in the same language, and that's how they communicate, and that's their happy place, and that's a lot. I think he's autistic, I guess. That is really common with that type of need. So.
And you immediately like, I love the character. You immediately
I love the character. He's such a cool kid.
And I'm genuinely pissed off at Joe Hill for just consciously knowing that if you're going to create a character like that in a book like this with all the dangers and situations surrounding him, and especially putting him in the middle of the situation with his screwed up mom, who's kind of like in a weird, strange, like fucked up codependent relationship with Zach. Like I automatically like that's some of where the horror aspect comes.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. It's really creepy. And the kid was like passive aggressively talking shit to the mom.
Oh yeah, he's not afraid.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to show it off because all this danger that's going on between Allie and Zach, like Zach doesn't even give a shit that the kid is right there for the whole thing, and I don't think necessarily realizes that he is trying to communicate like, I know what the fuck's going on. Like, I don't trust you. I'm watching you. But because you don't quite understand who I am and my mom totally does, like, we're kind of in on it and we're fucking watching you. And
and the kid's like, this guy's bad news, Sergeant. And the mom's like, Roger that. And Zach is just like, kind of brushes him off. Which is funny to me. The kid's imagination is just like on fucking overdrive. Like, all that you take from this.
And there's something really cool, and we'll get to it later on, because we kind of realize, well, we'll get to it. We'll talk about the imagination thing. I'm really glad that you brought that up, because there's something really special about this.
Right off the bat, that's what you pick up, is like, this kid is living in a completely different world. Like, he's not seeing what's happening around him. He's seeing something completely different happening around him. You get that the first time you meet the kid, and it sticks the whole time, the way that the interaction between all of them is. It's really, really cool. It's very, like... He makes you so curious. Like, rarely does a character with such few lines or such little depth at this point in time hook you in like that. Fucking rad.
And one of the things we should talk about is now we get introduced to a teacher, and this is all the stuff that's going on with Zach and Allie and why he is so fucking scary right now.
Yeah, so side flash.
Right.
A drama teacher at the high school.
So we get introduced to this drama teacher from the high school, and he actually knew. He's the one they keep referencing that photograph. That photograph is very important throughout the story. He is the drama teacher that is in that photo that knew all the kids from 40 years ago that helped put on the play. I think it was The Tempest, right? And
they show a picture of The Tempest. Ooh, show them that. He goes, they did play, and every time I imagine it, it was like magic. And they show this insane, like, live action stage play of The Tempest, but it's super dramatic. Like, it does look like magic.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a stage play.
Is the panel you're talking about? I'm trying to show it.
That's it. And I love it. I love how it's drawn. And
actually, this little panel gives you a little clue to another secret that the house has, which is, it has to do with shadows, obviously.
It does? Oh!
Do you see all the things in the back over here?
Oh, shit.
Remember the shadows thingy?
Like magic.
Oh my god. I never noticed that until right now. I'm a fucking horrible person.
That's what Savanna's talking about. She noticed the fact that they were using all of the lock and key, the house's keys to put on this play. As you can see, the angel, Homegirl's really flying.
Yes, you're absolutely. So everyone is actually kind of displaying their power that they're using each key for in this play. You can even see a couple of the keys.
Those teenagers look jacked. How did that happen?
Yeah, and you can actually see
what keys are those?
Dude, if you look really closely, God Almighty, you guys just blew my fucking mind. You can actually see that some of the characters are either.
You never noticed that they were putting on this play using the power of the house?
Well, I knew that. But you just brought some
He's like, the play looked almost magic when I remember it, and you showed people in the crowd just like with their jaws open.
Oh, God, and I'm just realizing, like, some people are actually holding the key. I mean, I knew they were using the magic to put the play on, but there's detail that you just brought up that I did not notice. Like, everyone is kind of, like, holding a key or has a key strapped to their costume in some way, shape, or form. That is fucking amazing, guys. Oh, and he's wearing the crown with the key on? Jesus! I love you.
Yeah. The Crown. That's one of my faves. That's my second fave, though.
It's the second fave.
Yeah, The Crown of Shadows is my second fave.
I got a
What
question.
the
How
fuck is
come?
the Crown of Shadows?
Oh, shit.
We'll find out. Okay, so here's something you need to bring up. Bring up your digital again. This is really interesting. I just noticed this.
Is it not up still?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay, so when you bring it up, I want you to notice in the digital, he's not wearing the crown.
Oh, crap.
No, that's
Go back.
hogwash.
No. Go back. Well, the crown is being worn by the angel.
Okay, that's really interesting. So in the print version, the guy's wearing the crown in the close up,
Why do
and
they
the
change
angel's
it?
not.
Why? Tell me why.
I don't know.
You have to know.
I think the book's alive and it's fucking with me.
No. They did that for a reason. It's been edited.
Oh, so they did change it. That's why they're gonna have to watch out.
The devil's in the details.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. So the digital has the main character, the wizard, wearing the crown in the inset panel, and then in the digital version, not there.
Okay,
That's
so
gnarly.
that's the print one. So the print one is the right one?
I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to look up.
Hmm,
Maybe we Google it. Joe has talked about it. We'll see.
maybe.
But so we're. What's that?
Think anybody else has noticed it?
Just noticed it. That's insane.
It's insane.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so the drama teacher, we find out, unfortunately for him, that he's doomed from the get-go because he's much older. We get his backstory. Come to find out that most of his time, especially his like personal thoughts, are always wrapped up with the fact that he just lost his wife, probably a few years prior to cancer, and it's such a beautiful. His story is beautiful.
Yeah,
throughout this book.
sad though.
And he's especially in 1963, he's a black man having a relationship with a white woman, and I guess they met at the school previously, and then they both became teachers there, and became part of like the administration. And it's so hard to watch this older man just always going like, it should have been me. After like, the way I lived my life, I thought I'd be the first one to go. But the sad thing is, just like he's never really gotten over it. And he just really kind of goes throughout his day, just kind of hoping one day that he gets to see his wife again. And it's so like heart-touchingly written. It's so good. But unfortunately, Zach, the Echo, he recognizes Zach walking the halls, and right away we have a problem. And it gets dealt with in a really horrible, horrible way. Does anyone want to talk about that scene?
Oh god, like when he sees him or when he does the thing that he does to him?
He does the thing that does to him.
Yeah, well, so Zach looks exactly like he did, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He just stayed a chick. Why couldn't he just stay a chick? Does he prefer being a dude? Is he actually a dude? Like, I still want to know so much about this character that I don't know. Like, if I was him, I would have just stayed a girl, especially if you had been there, but I don't know what his motives are, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, they do touch on it later on.
Okay, so he ends up finding, Zach's like, I gotta deal with this in the way that I gotta deal with this after a bunch of shit happens in between that. That's like, this is like towards the end of the book, and shoots the guy. And part of the scene, like, it shows how Ellie and this teacher meet, or not Ellie, the teacher and his wife meet. It's like they're at a pond studying, and he's like, oh, I thought we came here to study, and she's like in the lake naked, and she's like, you have to either come in and save me, or I'm gonna drown. And then it just shows him like kind of panicking, like, fuck, I can't swim. I hope she's just, messing with me. And then you don't see anything from it after that. And then it shows him like he gets shot in the bathtub, and then it shows him like dying in the bathtub. And then he like is thinking, because throughout the book he's thinking, you see his thought bubbles. Mm-hmm. So he's thinking about her pulling him back down into the water, and then it flashes to this like gorgeous splash page of her underwater and him coming down to get her at that same age.
And Ian has it up. Here, Ian, talk a little bit so you can get the screen up a little bit.
Oh, here's the panel that Savanna's talking about. It's really cute because there's you can't see it, but there's a little text on the top that says, "There you are," because she had been, waiting at the bottom of the pond, and
in the previous scene after he gets shot, he knows he's dying, and he's going, well, I guess it's time for me to find you. Where are you? And then the next scene is him and her like young again, kissing.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, there you are. And you just kind of like I'm so sad to see that character go, but
yeah.
yeah, like I'm sad to see that character go, but at the same time, I'm very like I'm happy. I'm happy that he gets to be with his wife again. Does that make sense?
Oh, Kirk, are you getting teary-eyed?
Shut up. So you guys talk for a second.
Oh, it's precious.
I'm telling you, this is testament of how powerful this story is, man.
This part too, all the feels. It was very, very well written. I guess I wasn't expecting that out of this book too. I thought it was all going to be like mystery and friends and teenagers doing teenager shit, I guess.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Shut up. But so and we find out that the reason Zach does this is because he wants to protect his identity, and this is why he kills the teacher. And the scene is fucking horrible because he's really looking at the guy going like, "Hey, nothing personal. I just gotta look out for me." And oh god, dude, I'm not okay with it.
Take a moment, Kirk.
No, I'm fine. Let's move on.
Meantime, the kids have the head key.
And how much fun is that key? Don't you think that key would have been a lot of help?
Amazing. So the head key, they show Bodhi running around the house trying to put this key in every door, and he's literally like, fuck, what the hell? It doesn't work here, it doesn't work here, and he's just racking his brain, trying every single hole, and how does he actually find the initial hole? Like, does he just, like, think I should try this, or how does he come to figure this out?
We don't know, but one of the things they keep showing is every so often when he's like thinking, he's always like scratching the back of his head. So I think at some point it was like maybe just they don't show how he figures it out. He just does. And
so
like
he puts his key in the back of his head, and it unlocks his head, and it shows him with half of his brains cut out, or his head cut chopped off.
Did you see that? Here's the little panel where he's like, "No, wait, look at this, guys," and then he's like, "Oh, there it is."
Ah, there he is.
There it is. Oh.
And
I love Bodhi. Can I just talk about how in love with this child I fucking am? If anything fucking happens to him, I'm gonna fucking cry.
I love
Savanna. I have bad news.
No, don't tell me that. Okay. I love this little kid. He is fucking adorable. And he's hilarious.
Savanna, did you see the official little statue of Bodhi they released?
Yes.
I put it on DM.
Yes, I saw it. He's precious.
I really am thinking of getting it. It's only $80.
You should. Do it. He wouldn't fit into my Hall of Babes. Doesn't quite have the rack for it, but he's cute.
Oh, I love the scene when they're like, because this is all happening right in front of the mom, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the mom. Oh my gosh, the mom. She walks in and she's like, "Hey, don't do that anymore. I'm gonna make dinner. The fish sticks are burning." And then she just walks out, and the siblings that he's showing this to are freaking out. Like every other bubble is just like, "Gah," or they're just like they're flipping.
It's all monosyllabic sounds. They're just
it is. They have no words to explain what's happening, and then you can look inside his head. And you can see what's inside his head. It's really, really, really magical.
And there's two things about the scene with the mom, because it gets really scary. One, she's so used to Bo being like that she's like, all right, whatever. And two, I think it also shows the fact that she's kind of like starting to disassociate from what's going on with the family because she's still dealing with so much of her trauma and trying to stay strong. And you start to see the element of that. Yeah, I feel bad for her, but like you start to notice that.
Yeah, she's a hot fucking mess, and she's definitely not in that house. Like mentally, she's not there at all.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there is that element of like, Jesus, Bode, I don't know whatever it is you're doing, but just stop.
Look at
all the things that are inside his head.
Oh, let's see. Where is? Oh my God! And then the little panel of when they look inside Bodhi's head is just so like what a child's inner brain would look like. It's just so much fun. I don't know, Savanna. Help me here.
It was awesome. Like you can see all the way that the artist laid this out. You can see all the little corners of the things that he's thinking. There's his dad, and I don't have the book in front. There's like slides, and there's him like in almost like a Halo costume, and there's all kinds of crazy shit happening. And then there's the well house right there in the middle, and that's where like the story goes next. Is
Right.
his sister? So you can pull stuff out of his head and put stuff into his head. So he puts, what does he put in there to show them that he can put stuff in there? Doesn't he like he shoves a recipe book in his head.
Yeah, the chef's Bible right over here.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Chef's
just so you-
Bible into his head, like shoves it into his brain.
And the worst part is like the way they kind of like get the message. It's like he really is like, ugh, ah,
Yeah.
ah. Like it like did just slip right in. Like he actually had to kind of like force feed it.
And then he
Also,
has all the knowledge.
and he's just reciting it. Also, go back to that panel really quickly because this is a cool thing that they did with the head key that freaks me the fuck out.
Wait, which
That one. So Ian, do you describe what's going on? Because I want the panel up, but I want you to talk about it. Describe what's happening here because this is something really cool. All three of the people can see into Bode's head, including Bode.
Yeah.
That is, I mean,
Anytime that they show because they show everybody getting in, you get into everybody's head, and they show that you can actually see what the person that's poking around sees. And when Kinsey and Tyler do it, they're like, okay, I can't get in my own head, you have to do it. So it shows Tyler looking into her head, and then but she can also see it. It's pretty cool. I don't know how they say it's like an out of body experience, but it's magic. Magic.
yeah, so when they're going into the person's head, that is the head key's being used on, this strange phenomenon happens where when they all peer inside the head, even the person who the head key's being used on can see into their own head. It's the strangest, and they do it a lot throughout the comic book, and thank God.
But it's not a physical manifestation. It's more of a what is the term, Savanna?
Don't they actually see an out of body experience? They actually say Kinsey and Tyler like look at each other and address each other. He actually another person appears next to her. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they even talk about, like, this is creeping me out.
How are you standing next to me, she says, or he says.
Doesn't make any freaking
But it's cool. So anyway, they pull the well. They open up the top of the well inside his head, and they pull out the girl that was inside the well, like by the tip of her shirt, like she's like
right over
Melina, and she's this little scary. Yeah.
It's this really creepy. Looks nothing like the well or Zach. But
that's how Bodhi saw her.
Mm-hmm. Which is really cool because.
Right over here. I'm just talking so people can see it. Here it is. Here's what the well lady looks like in his head through a child's eye. A look into his mind. This is what the lady in the well looks like in his brain. So.
And then they're like, well, okay, let's keep it out because it's obviously scaring him. And she's like, no, let's let him keep that memory. And they put it back in his head.
Yeah, and I love the feeling her reason behind it. She's like, no, it's his memory. Like, you don't take his memory. But, oh, dude, Then, and on top of that plays later. I want you to pay really close attention to that because that also goes back to the autistic character. There's a really cool, they try to explain why this is all happening in everyone else's brains, their minds, and how their perception is. Hold on to that. But we also get back and we revisit, now I'm going to forget the uncle's name.
Duncan. Uncle Duncan.
Uncle Duncan.
Oh, I like him.
Uncle Duncan. Oh wait, did we get to that part yet? Am I getting ahead of myself? Because I got really fucking excited there for a second.
Well, Duncan leaves. He actually lives in a couple hours away. So the mom Nina kind of throws a fit about him leaving because the teacher just got murdered, and Kinsey was kind of a mess about it, crying and freaking out. She's like, I didn't even know the guy, blah 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 blah, literally freaking out.
And so now we got Kinsey and the brother, who have now discovered like that everything's fucking real. Like these keys really do exist, and they really do really gnarly, crazy shit. And I loved the scene with them just hanging out on one of the porches of the house, and they're just like, so what do we do this with? And they're gonna use it to get caught up in school. Like they're
Tyler's really
literally.
behind in school, and he really wants to play hockey, and they won't let him play hockey if he doesn't get good grades. So he's
Mhm.
like, I'm literally going to cram. And he crammed the entire textbook into his head. And he's like, I'm all caught up.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Kinsey's all hung up on using it for other reasons.
Right. She, which we will get to. Also, really interestingly, when we peer into his head and what it looks like when he's trying to shove all the homework that he needs to get caught up on. It's sad. It's really kind of it's
It's
hard.
his brain is just this dark, depressing wasteland. No different than what a teenage boy's mind is in high school.
Well, a teenage
Yeah.
boy that just lost his dad, brutally lost his dad, and the way that his head is exactly like you would imagine it, having gone through everything that he's gone through. I kind of expected there to be boobs, given that he's a teenager, but whatever.
Right. But unfortunately, like the only good image he has of his dad
It is the fucking
it's the gunshot wound or him in the urn, or even sadly enough, like the best things were the fishing trips, and even the caught fish in the background looks like it's just rotting and dying, and even like that happy memory is completely tainted.
Yeah.
And it's just it's just all the imagery in that.
It's so powerful here. I'm talking only because I have it up, and
Mhm.
it's him standing in front of his father's urn, and he has Lesser whispering into his ear saying, "You should have seen his face," and
Mhm.
you know what I mean. And here's a little graphic of his face with a hole in his face. It's really
Yeah, it's kind of a
sad.
shame because it lets you know exactly where the character is and why like it's so important for him. He's just like, I want to play fucking hockey. Like I just did anything to get a distraction out of this. Um, so I'm also really in love with just how everything progresses. So great. So we get to that part, and it's the first sign of like life we see from him, because we're also watching. We're kind of afraid because we're watching him actually get his first real friend since moving to the house, and unfortunately, it is Zach, the worst character on the face of the earth. So it's hard to watch him be happy and finally like start to kind of get over all the trauma that's been going on. But you as the reader are starting to fucking realize like it's only it's only fleeting. He actually finds a girl that he's trying to flirt with, like so we're kind of rooting for him in that.
ooh,
Uh,
she's bad. She has a motorcycle and a scar on her face. I like her.
we all do.
Yeah.
Really, really, really into her. We don't get to know her much about her yet, but
Yeah.
Kinsey and them decide to have the really stupid idea that they're going to show their friends their new trick.
Oh yeah, that's right. They invite them over.
Dude, describe your feelings on that scene.
It was stupid. It was not a smart move on there, but so he fucking chops his head off in front of his lady friend, and she flips out. Of course, she flips out.
Yeah, she's like, nope, bye.
Yeah, she
But
legit just
the
Nope.
complete
runs
opposite
away.
reaction is the mom. Like,
This is her running away. She's like, nope, out the door.
and it's
If
really
you
kind
can
of
see
like,
him, he doesn't have the top of his head on.
But of course, Zach is like, "This is awesome, guys." Of course.
of course, Zach thinks it's awesome because this is what he's been waiting for the entire time. And so they actually start playing around with it. And I really great scene is when he races out to the girl, and she's sitting on the motorcycle, and you think she's just like either freaked out by the situation, but you actually realize that she's really upset and angry, and it kind of gives you a couple of layers to who the character is. She thinks that they're making fun of her. They think they're pulling a prank or some sort of like joke on her, and I thought that was a really really great quick little glimpse because we don't know much about this character yet at all. So it's a great little glimpse into like just because of what her reaction was to seeing how the head key works. It wasn't her freaking out. It was her genuinely like, "Fuck you guys. That's not fair. That's not funny. I'm like not supposed to be a joke to you guys. I thought I was coming over because I was looking for friends." Um, and then we get to Duncan and what he's doing with his life after moving back, and I was really into this. Does anyone want to talk about Duncan and
Well,
what
as
he
Duncan
discovered?
is leaving, he gets recognized where he recognizes
Oh
Zach.
yeah.
So he's freaking out kind of about that the whole time, but because he's an adult, he can't really remember. That whole factor plays in a lot with the teacher too, Ellie.
Hmm.
The fact that she's an adult and why she can still like feel the magic. That's a whole thing too.
Right. And there's this really great thread. Oh, God damn it. You beat me to it before we got to it. So I'm going to bring it up now, Savannah. What Savannah just talked about, the truth is that this entire series is talking with any of the adults that recognize what's going on with Zach and all these other situations that were people that were connected to the whole Locke family. Something you're trying to understand is that the adults that still believe in theater and art and that sort of thing, that part of them never quite grew up. So it's very interesting that like Duncan, who's an art teacher, recognizes him, even though like as he becomes an adult, like the magic starts to wear off on these characters. That the people that still recognize who what Zack and the Echo are all characters that have some sort of creativity or magic still left in them that don't have never grew up and became full adults. Like they still held on to like that thing that they loved so much that they still recognize whatever this thing was 40 years ago because they still have like that belief of magic and creativity in them. I don't know if anyone picked up on that. Am I full of shit on that one?
No.
So, something we wanted to talk about. Oh, okay. So then we find out Duncan's gay, and I think that's awesome.
Yep. And his boyfriend is pretty radical too.
Yeah. I am really into Duncan and his boyfriend.
Yeah,
Mainly,
they have such a fun relationship.
especially because it starts to turn into like commentary, especially from Duncan's boyfriend's point of view, who, by the way, is not. He looks like a man's man. He drinks his beer. He wants to watch the game.
He looks like an off-duty detective. Like they look like a couple, like a Starsky and Hutch type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He kind of reminds me of like who Sergeant Bullock would be from like if Bullock from Batman was also gay. Like I'm like I like this. And I like the fact that he purposely goes into a bar. He's already had a few drinks. He just wants to sit down with his boyfriend and enjoy himself for the night, and purposely kind of incites. Like I like the fact that he just faces it head on. I was fucking in love with that part. Really, really into that. I also like the fact that there's a little bit of Joe Hill commentary because the two people in the bar are women that look like women that would be also gay, and
they look like crazy bull dykes.
Yeah, they do. They look totally butch.
I love how Kirk was trying to like tread lightly, and Savanna's just like bull dykes.
No.
Yeah.
I've got way too many roid.
I am dancing around it. It's like dancing around it. I don't know what to say. Like I'm not allowed to say the N-word, so I'm not going to say the N-word.
They've got like They've got one of them has like a busted lip. They both got cigarettes hanging out of their mouth. He even makes the writing on them is super like slang and just shitty English altogether, and they're in Massachusetts, so it's probably like just this hard like Bostonian accent.
Yeah, they just come off of like Bodunk like Hicks. You know what I mean?
Hard ass, crazy, dumb, kind of dumb thuggish actually.
And I love the commentary on it because it wasn't just like let's just tackle it head on. Joe Hill's kind of talking about at a certain point like it's so funny because you always kind of get the impression like the people who are so vocal and kind of like anti about it, you take one look at them and you're kind of like, oh, what's really up with you? And I like the fact that just doing the juxtaposition of instead of like stuck up sorority girls saying like homophobic things or having Duncan's boyfriend just be like the atypical good looking guy just out of the closet, fresh out of like underwear modeling school. I like switching those characters and still having that conversation because it destroys all like preconceptions and notions right then and there. It's a really great scene and I love it. But it kind of sucks because it is a part of Boston and they get fucked up. Ian's got the scene up right now
of them getting into a fight.
Yeah. And it just kind of sucks because it's the truth of life, but it also kind of furthers the story a little bit because now Duncan remembers who Zach is, and that's kind of the next thing. Oh wait, I got so ahead of myself on this. I think I'm doing okay. So yeah, so that's a fucking horrible thing, and we flash back to everyone playing with the head key. And who wants to talk about Kinsey? I keep talking so much tonight, guys, because I'm so excited about this.
Oh,
Someone else talk about Kinsey and her experience with the head key.
So, we've kind of seen so far what Bodhi, Bodhi just wants to show off the key. Then Tyler kind of wants to just cram all this knowledge so he can do better in school. And Kinsey's really still dealing with a lot of the stuff she's been through. And she's kind of hit that moment where she's just kind of tired of feeling, sadness, scared, stuff like that. So she just comes up with this idea of, how about we take those memories out? How about we take out all the scary things that are in there that are keeping me, essentially up at night? And that turns into a whole other thing with Kinsey.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because of the teacher dying and the way that she feels, and you said it exactly right. She's just tired of feeling, and she talks about pulling things out of her head versus putting something into it, and she literally pulls out her fear and her sadness.
And I'm gonna talk
the
right
entire emotion.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk right now because I think you guys can see the little panel where here is the representation of her fear and here is the representation of her sadness, and it's just a scary monster and kind of like a weeping woman just bawling her eyes out.
And it's
And
weird
they're
because like
really creepy too. Like the things that they say to her is exactly what her fear is saying to her in her head, and what her sadness is saying to her in her head. And I mean, her fear is really aggressive. Like they put her in like a soda bottle, and she puts her finger on the end of it, and her fear like stabs her 3 times in the finger. And her brother's like, "You're bleeding," and she's like, "Oh, I don't even care," because she doesn't even care. Her fear is gone.
Yeah.
She's really happy about that right
It's just
now.
like this very small, tiny little instance. Like right away we find out this is why there's a certain amount of fear in all of us, because it kind of protects you a little bit. But she's just like, nope, don't feel pain anymore. Don't really care. Isn't that weird, funny?
It made me look at fear and sadness as like in a whole like different way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a really accurate representation of both of them. And the way that the fear is sitting on the sadness in the bottle, and the way that she said that her fear and her sadness were like crushing all her other emotions of who she is. And it's like such tiny little malicious looking creatures just owning her completely.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you see that how something so small and bad could take over.
God, and if you look at how like the character designs on these things, her fear is literally like almost how she views herself and how she looks in like the worst possible way, with like the dye streak and like a lot of like her like insecurities about her body. And then also she's wrapped up in all the fears of the world and everything that she's taking in from like newspapers and news on the television, and it's just nothing but epitomize like the bad things in the world, and it's just that's what everything is wrapped up in. Also, I want to talk about the how the creature that turns off the crying, it's like literally a faucet and it's like waterworks.
Yeah, the fingers are like little spigots.
Mm-hmm. And let's just talk about like, I mean, God, I want to know what that conversation was with Joe and Gabrielle when they're like, all right, so how do we design these characters?
Like, yeah, and then when he's like trying to get it out of her head, he's like, oh, this one's kind of slippery, and he pulls out, and like I said, they're just little small monsters, and they're saying some really, really, really fucked up shit to her, like it's so like relatable fucked up shit. You're like, yeah, that's exactly what fear is. It's exactly what fear is. I wonder how long it took them to put that into words, into an accurate portrayal, or into how they wanted us to see that. It's fucking
right.
Good job.
It's so weird that like I think everyone personifies their feelings in a certain way, but like I immediately figured out who Kinsey is, even more so now that you see how
just seeing how those two things could be. And then you like think about that what was that movie, the feelings movie, Inside Out?
Oh yeah.
Like a more like legit, I would almost say that Inside Out kind of ripped a little bit of this, you know what I mean, like the way that Bodhi's head looks on the inside.
Yeah, totally.
Because this was out first.
Dude, I wonder, do you think Inside Out was maybe inspired by this?
Dun dun dun.
Just saying, guys.
Just saying. Just saying.
leave it to Disney to take a horror comic and go like, I think there's something here. Get Pixar on the phone.
They were.
And so this really great strange turn of events happens. Now that fucking Zach gets his hands on the head key.
Oh yeah, twists. Time for twisting.
Time for twisting.
Time for twisting.
So now he goes on. He takes the forever or the anywhere key, and he takes the head key, and he goes and he hunts down Duncan. And this is so interesting because someone else in the chat was talking about this earlier when we go back to the scene with the drama teacher, that he didn't want to kill him. That's why he was like handing him pills to like overdose with the alcohol that the guy was drinking, and kind of forces his hand to shoot him. When we get to Duncan, now he's got the opportunity to just remove memories from Duncan instead of killing him. So it now adds this really insane, even more complex layer to how fucking evil and methodical Zach is. He actually doesn't want to leave a trail of dead bodies associated to the Locke family, but now he's using the head key to just eliminate the problem altogether without killing anybody. And that is just so well thought out.
Yeah, this is the opposite of We Can Never Go Home, where they were just killing fucking everybody and leaving like a trail of blood. But actually, Zach doesn't want to do that right now. He was carefully planning what he's really thinking about what he's doing, and it's really interesting. And I have the little panel up of Zach reaching into Duncan's head and pulling the two little doodads out. Let's see if I can.
What was it like? It was like the original memory of when he saw him as Luke, and then the most recent seeing him, and then the memory of him being there right then. Right?
Right.
Something like that.
Past
Here
and present.
all three, past, present, and then what just happened.
Oh yeah, good point.
And then he like puts all three of those like little things in the toilet and pisses on them while he flushes. It's great.
And it's such a sad little scene because he literally flushes like those.
Like bye.
No, don't. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's just like here's the little toilet, and one of the dudes is like, "Oh shit, man, no, keep us," and then I was like, "No, don't." Wee.
And then you're like, so he can keep them? What do they do when you keep them? Like, what happens to those like memories? Can they run around like real life? Like, that's just crazy to me.
We'll see that actually. We'll see what happens with that.
So, are you saying that her little shits in a bottle escape? Because I haven't read past that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're gonna have to keep reading to find out.
Fuck you guys.
Good.
Sorry, Savanna, you don't have the equipment I need.
Oh. That can be arranged.
Oh, I'm liking this arrangement.
So now Zach's still even more evil than we thought, and now he sneaks back into the Locke house because he was spending the night. Just still this weird fear thing because now like they're just letting him stay in the house. They have no idea who Zach is. Where else? I keep talking, guys. Take over.
So wait. So now he takes the anywhere key out of. Right, so he just leaves Duncan with his memories or puts him to sleep or whatever, and then he's sleeping. And then he takes the anywhere key and goes and sees Ellie, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes and fucks with her head, and then all of that entire story comes unraveled, and they show, like, what's happening in her head and now how he's been controlling her this whole time. Are we going to get into that right now?
Yeah. So
how does that happen again? How does that all come undone? Hold on.
Oh, okay. So it basically what ends up happening is first of all, it's Zach and Kenzie. He wakes Kenzie up on accident, and because Kenzie now doesn't have the fear in her, she just looks at Zach and is like, "By the way, I kind of have a little crush on you. I want to know what it's like to kiss you." That's interesting. I just like blurting that out. And Kinsey suddenly becomes like my favorite person on the face of the earth because like that's exactly something I've always wanted to deal with. Like how you just tell somebody, "I just wonder what it's like to kiss you." And I think it's so cool, like just because of the story that manifests that situation, and it's one of those aha moments when as a reader you're like, "God, that's amazing. That's exactly how I feel." But so we basically, Zach finally shows back up, and now that he's got the Anywhere key, he can basically do whatever he needs to like take memories out. This is what happens is he goes back to the running coach, and this is what happens as he messes with her mind and starts taking out the memory. We do a flashback, and it's an epilogue of the entire relationship between the running coach and Zach.
And the running coach's mother, and what
And the mother.
the mother, and how all of that unfolds.
Mm-hmm. God, who?
That was
hates-
like the entire book, right?
But yeah, this is the last part of the book.
Mhm.
Who hates that mother worse than anything else in the world?
She's awful. She's so
I
awful.
know.
She fucking smokes in the house, and she is verbally abusive. She's mentally abusive. All she does is she's just a hateful old monster.
And she in a way manipulatively abuses our special needs character, which is just watching that whole situation is fucking horrible. Again, we start to see that he's very aware of the situation around him because he's also passive aggressively addressing her through his toys, and just all the different layers of these characters that start to build in like the flashbacks, and as we're starting to learn the history, just starts to make the situation way more intense. And so, who wants to talk about what she finds in this flashback?
Let's see. I'll talk about it. I think
Yeah.
doesn't she end up finding an in case of emergency break glass, and there's a memory in there along with two keys, the wellhouse key and also the gender key.
Mm-hmm.
And the memory is the little lady from the well house. It's Zach's little mini female version with the two
Yeah.
keys. And how she gets that is behind the vanity mirror, she has like a sex toy, and she drops it because the son walks in and says something weirdly foreboding. And then she fucking digs back there looking for her shit, like, God damn it, motherfucker, and she finds this jar.
And here's the
and then
jar.
she slips and falls, and the jar breaks, and the little lady escapes and jumps into her ear and goes into her body.
Mm-hmm. And there's this really creepy thing that happens through this entire series of events. I don't know if anyone noticed it. It's like the little creepy memory of this character that will later become the Echo. During all the black and white scenes, she's the only one in color. And through every panel, she's starting to do something. One, she's acting very smugly. And then
Yeah,
two,
she kind of breaks the fourth wall. I hate it.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God. Look
She's-
at her.
She's kind of looking at you, the reader, like, all right, so this is how this happened. And she definitely breaks the fourth wall, and it's really fucking creepy. And it's one of the only times it
That
happened.
little figure of her crawling into the ear, nightmare status right there.
Yeah. And
And then that's how he says in the beginning of the book that he's been controlling her because there's been a piece of him in her this whole time, and you think it's just because, like, oh, it's because he's fucking her, and that's kind of like a haha. No, there's actually a piece of him in her.
right.
That's how she gets the keys and the well house and all that shit.
And this is where things get, if you really want to dig into it, this is where things get weird and creepy. One, this is how she has the potential to kill her mom and do away with her because of all the abuse that she's being suffered. Because she does go to the well house and kind of resurrect the Echo. And then we realize that this little piece of her has been controlling her, and so that's why every time she tries to stop Zach, she can't quite work the phone correctly because there's something preventing her. At one point, we find out that she tried to like stab Zach, and only to find out later that because she was confused, it was a banana. So that doesn't work. This is where things get really, really creepy. Zach and this running coach have relations, whether she likes it or not. They kind of sleep together and do things. And is it really narcissistic that because there's a part of Zach in her that he's kind of like doing things with himself? Like, is that just like a whole different level of narcissism, or did I just make things weird and creepy?
Well, it seems really fitting with this character too. Like you would imagine him being that way, or I don't know, like a whole like pie reference in the next panel, and you're just like, oh, why?
Yeah, and it's like you think there's this like weird like power. Yeah, like you think it's a power thing, but really Zach's just kind of like getting off on the fact that there's like a piece of him in her, and it's just this completely, it's disgusting and weird. And on top of that, because they used to be in a relationship back 40 years ago, it starts to fuck with you. And you don't want to think about it too much, but it again adds another layer to just how complicated Zach is a character, but it also creeps you out to the max as far as like what he's willing to do.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us to the end. That's the epilogue. It gives us a lot of backstory to who Zach is and what a lot of these relationships are, and especially when you're trying to fill in a story that starts 40 years ago and you're bringing it up to speed with this new generation of kids. The last thing I really, really, really wanted to talk about is the head key doesn't work on our special needs character.
Oh yeah, so Zach tries to go into the special needs character's room to erase the memory because he fucked up and did that magic shit in front of him in like 2 books prior, and he can't get the key into the back of the kid's head. What the fuck is that? And then that's just the last page, and then it shows him like having his toys, and he says something to his toys, and then like all the other toys on the fucking on the table are like Roger that, and you're just like, oh,
sir, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I have this really cool theory. I think it's because when you see everyone and how they internalize every time the head key gets used, and you see how they internalize their memories and their feelings and what's going on in their head, it seems very much like that's where their fantasy life lives. Like that's where it's all kept inside, and that's the only way you can get it out with the head key.
Oh, and this book was called Army of One, right?
What's that?
What was this book called? Army of One. This 5th issue, right? And then all the posters on the kid's wall say Army of One, and it's like, and the things he's saying to the toys, he's like, we're gonna fucking handle this. We're gonna protect the barracks, and blah 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 blah.
I think the head key doesn't work on him because his fantasy life, he's living in the middle of it.
Or because he's autistic.
Yeah, like he doesn't need the key. He's living in that fantasy all the time. Like it's already been pulled out of his mind.
Control of his head.
Yeah.
Kirk, you just blew my mind.
Crazy.
Like he doesn't need the key. He's always living in that fantasy. These are his memories, and this is the reality that he's created for himself. And I loved it. That was my Goosebumps moment of this book.
Yeah.
And that's where it leaves off because we get a rundown of the keys that we have found in the back of the trade. But what was your general feeling that this thing left you with after you were done reading it?
I was pretty satisfied with it, for sure. It's very satisfying, like, as far as when you read a book, what you want out of it. Well-rounded. I like that.
Ian, how about you? Like, what was your general feeling after you finished this chapter?
The shit's gonna get crazy and bad soon and fast.
It was like Small Soldiers. Remember that movie Small Soldiers with Tommy Lee Jones? So ready for that shit. Like Gorgons, right? With the Gorgons? I remember.
Yeah.
Wait, do you guys remember that movie where the kid would put toys inside a little cabinet, and with the key, once he opened the cabinet...
Indian in the cupboard, yeah.
Yeah, I would have put all of my Pokemon in there.
I had like the VHS tape case that was like the cupboard, and it came with a little Indian figure, and you could stick it in the side, and it was like had a key. It was cool.
They were. I grew up with those books. There were actually like 2 or 3 of them, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like, what would you bring to life? Like
my Pokemon.
Of your Pokemon. Okay, so we already got Pokemon.
Sorry.
How about you, Savanna? What would you bring to life?
What wouldn't I bring to life?
Okay.
Like my shoes would have like personalities if I could do that. Like all my I talked when I got my new black cat statue. I was like, guys, look who's come to visit us.
It's like I just imagine like
if
we did that, like everything's just running around with personality, like in Toontown and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like it's like shoes with smiles making like little squeaky noises and stuff.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I want to see Ian actually just get the Pokemon, and then we actually have to figure out how to do Pokeballs for him. That'd be like the coolest thing on the face of the earth.
Oh my God, I would love to have little chibi Pokemon battles with people.
I definitely loved this chapter. I liked that it definitely furthers the story. It definitely ends with we're now in
Oh,
the middle of it.
Yolanda said she would bring her Sailor Moon to life.
Sailor Moon to life.
Yes, Sailor Squad.
Frida says Beanie Babies.
Aww,
The American Girl dolls.
yeah. Monster High dolls. They would be fun to party with.
That's actually something we should just leave in the comments. Like if you had a key that was able to bring anything to life that you put in a cupboard, like an Indian in the cupboard, what would you bring to life? Like, I'm just kind of curious about that. But I'm glad that you're on board with Lock and Key, Savanna. I'm so glad that like you went with Ian and I on this.
Yeah. You guys would not steer me wrong. You would not make me read garbage. Speaking of garbage that we've read lately.
Oh, what garbage? Do you want to...
What was our most recent garbage? The Discipline?
The Discipline.
Oh my God, the Discipline. Wait, should we close the Lock and Key conversation?
Yeah, we should, because I think we're at our like 2-hour mark now, right?
Are we really?
Close.
Okay, so maybe we'll. Do you want to talk about the Discipline? I want to talk about the Discipline. I had such a good talk with Lock and Key.
I want to talk about how bad the Discipline was. Do not.
You do? Fuck it. Okay. So a couple weeks ago, we read a comic called The Discipline. It was put out by... Jeez, I have it right next to me, too. This is so sad. It was written by Peter Milligan, and I'm so sorry about this because he's one of my favorite writers. He's given me... he did Justice League Dark. He gave me some of the best years of X-Men. And he came out with this comic called The Discipline by Image Comics. Issue number 1 came out.
Sorry, Peter.
What's that?
I said I'm saying sorry to Peter in advance.
Yeah. Peter, I usually love your stuff. And maybe it's only the first issue. I don't know. I know that...
No, and I do want to say, I'm sure that the creators thought, which makes me the most sad, is that the creators thought they were making gold, probably the next Sex Criminals, but
right.
Even the art, like, I was just not a fan of it. It didn't even have that going for it. It was so bad. Like,
had no dimension. I mean, I understand what they were trying to do with it. They were trying to do kind of like the Private Eye feel, but they did it in like these weird colors. One of my Instagram followers said it the best. He said it was 50 Shades of Grey with demons.
Yeah, so we're trying to
that good.
I don't even know how to describe this thing. Basically, got a character who is, early to mid-20s, and she's totally a sexually repressed trophy wife. Yeah, and then she comes along this dark and tall stranger, and she's having weird, strange sexual fantasies and dreams, but they're like...
There's one where she's getting fucked by a goat. Like, where did that come from?
Like she's doing like bestiality with a werewolf, and at one point she is doing like sexy time with like a half human, half mantis thing. I don't know what
happened. I don't know what happened. It's almost like somebody's like, and then with the fluids on her face every 5th panel randomly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, our very first title page is like this weird bestiality thing, and then like
it just makes you feel dirty. Like, I just felt so dirty after reading it. Like I don't know.
The uncomfortableness of it aside, it was very thrown together on top of it. Like the subject needed a little bit more lead in before they're like, oh, sex sells, sex sells, sex sells.
Yeah, it just because I realize it's Image. This is something that totally would be like on older Vertigo, like late 80s, early 90s Vertigo. But
then
you're right.
That art. If it's gonna be that style, I want that art.
Yeah, I don't even want to show the panels because
so they don't go together. The story.
Just show it, Kirk.
No. I mean, there's nudity and stuff, and we've been talking about really cool stuff all night. It's just strange because like I feel like the first issue is, like you said, super rushed. So if you're throwing in that much sex and the fact that the entire series is based around sex, and your first impressions the readers are going to get from it is like, well, why would I pick up a second issue already? Because it's just, and on top of that, the guy, it feels rapey.
It feels rapey, but I mean, hey, people like that shit. So if you like rapey, then there you go.
No, I'm not
rapey. Anything.
Lots of people do.
Oh.
People who look how popular 50 Shades of Grey was. As inaccurate as it is, look at how popular it was. I think they were kind of riding those coattails a little bit, and that's really frustrating when indie books do that, because there was a lot of hype about this book, and it was fucking inaccurate ass hype, and that pisses me the fuck off.
It was just.
I hate when they push bullshit.
I don't know. I feel like because it's so rushed, everything about it feels really inappropriate. Like he's like at one point just like groping her without permission. And
it's fucking supposed to be inappropriate, but at least do it the right way. Like make the art, make you feel something. The art does nothing for you at all. It doesn't make you feel shit. It's like it's mostly black and purple and like almost like trying to do that like Hawkeye feel. I don't even want to say that's Hawkeye in the sentence with the book. But just don't know on the discipline. Shame on.
If there was a mood or something they were going for, that it totally missed the mark. Like I don't know what the tone was, but
this is not a kink shaming conversation. This is a shitty comic book conversation.
Yeah. This is the first comic that we've actually talked about that it's like we've been trying to sell you on so many titles. This is the first comic we're like, don't buy this garbage. I didn't buy it. I purposely found it online because somebody had uploaded it. I think on like Comic View or something. There's a website where they upload the scans or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even want to support it just from everything that I've been hearing.
Because on top of that, like when you talk about the art, like I was really excited because the color tones all really matched. Oh crap, I'm gonna forget it. Deadly Class. Remember?
Yes.
Like I love that color palette. Like they're really fucking around with like moonlights and different like shading like that. And I couldn't get into it. I was really excited for that. But there were things to be excited about in this comic, and it felt so dirty and not in a good way, not in a cool, sexy way, not in like everyone has a kink and like for something. It just doesn't. No,
it's not kink.
I'm all about that shit. But there's like a way to do it. There's a way to do it right, and that was very poorly done.
Or maybe they should have, left the demon fucking, but left out the goat fucking for the next issue. I mean, I don't know. It was just so much.
Threw it all at us so fast. We were just kind of
not a goat too, add a goat too, and then put, I don't know. It was bad.
I don't know if they just like really goats to sexy or goats to demons, because I think that's a whole like demon thing. But whatever, it was fucking furry goat tail and bent over dick. So that to me, not a happy combo.
I think there's definitely a right way to like ease people into the idea of like there's gonna be some bestiality in here, and there's gonna be some like really weird demonic anthropomorphic crossbreeding sex.
Well, if you're gonna
do little
gnarly, make there's some blood and make sure there's some fucking like actual tits, not this like Pink Panther intro, fucking artsy fartsy bullshit that's going on. It's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Okay.
I'm not.
Now people are gonna read it because we talk so much shit, so we gotta stop.
Okay.
How many goats out of how many goats do you give it, Savanna?
I give it a negative infinity goats.
We don't
infinite negative goats.
We don't give this comic any goats because we want to save the goats and hide them away from this comic book.
Come to me, baby goats. I love you.
We need to scurry these goats away.
Yeah. Hide the goats from the discipline.
Don't let any goats. Don't let anything near this comic. But I don't know. That was the weirdest thing in the world.
So Lance said, I'm sorry. I was about to butcher his last name. I'm not gonna try. He just said, so what you're saying is they shot their load in one issue.
Lance nailed it.
I can't see the comments ever, so like I had the comments pulled up on the side and nothing was happening, so I don't get to interact with you guys. Sorry.
But you can interact with Savanna if you follow her where?
On Instagram at Galactus Hungers, on Tumblr at Galactus Hungers, or Twitter at Hydro Honey.
Also,
follow her Twitter.
And Force Girls. Follow the Force Girls because Star Wars is sexy.
Mr. Ian, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Ian Alexander on pretty much everything except for Facebook.
Okay, cool. And you can find me at Twitter at Kirk Likes Stuff. That's pretty much it. if you really want to like see pictures of my dog on my Instagram and stuff like that, you'll search it out. But dude, I had a great time. I love our Sundays. Sorry that I screwed up so much at the beginning of this.
Cinemax turns to softcore. Turn it.
Oh, and I swear to you guys, as soon as I'm off of this, I'm going on Amazon and buying headphones because tonight was kind of a shitstorm because of me.
I think that was my fault, dude. I feel like
minor delays.
Yeah.
Minor delays.
Well, you know, we did get to know Sexy Brian out of this.
Brian's been following us for a couple of weeks now, and I'm not even gonna lie. I think it's pretty cool that one, that happened. Two, Brian, now you're gonna have like some stalkers checking you out later. Also, that's something I actually want to do. Like people like Brian and like my friend Frida. If you're watching the show and you're kind of getting into comic books that we're talking about, especially when let's announce next week's comics. It'd be really cool if you want to come on the show, and we'll rotate out a guest once in a while. So like along with the three of us, we'll give you the link, and then you can come up and you can join conversations once in a while.
Ooh, I want to get Yolanda in on the Glory. Whenever we do Glory, I want to get Yolanda on here.
Okay, so Yolanda, you're doing Glory.
If she wants to.
Okay, cool. And so next week we will talk about Volume 3 of Lock and Key, and then we're letting you know right now. Next week we're also going to talk. You know what? It was Savannah's idea. I'm going to let her announce it.
Alex and Ada by the Luna Brothers.
Yay! So I think there's 2 really small volumes. Go grab those from your local Comixology, comic shop. I know libraries carry them. Go to your favorite bookstore that has an awesome comic section. Whatever you need to do, go get those books, read them, and meet us back here about 7 p.m.-ish when I'm not fucking everything up every Sunday. And we'll talk about those books. And I'm really excited. I'll put the links down below. Also, guys, as you are watching this, please keep the conversation going. Keep the comments going. Let's keep that conversation happening. And I really am excited.
I want to say something. By the way, I was super sad that our last episode only had 1 comment because that is like what I live for, is to talk to you guys on the comment section. And there were none. I bitched and moaned to Savanna and Kirk. So as you guys are checking out, please leave a comment, a question. It doesn't matter what it is. Ask me how my day is going. I don't care.
Anything.
Leave me something to do while I'm at work, because I ain't gonna work. So.
Dude, and honestly, like the comments keep the conversation going. That's how it builds the community. And seriously, like Ian cried. It sucked, and I don't want to see Ian ever like that. We need
when
to keep
I cry is the saddest thing you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel super bad.
So, dude, let's keep those comments going. Find us on our Twitters and all our socials. And honestly, like after 5 episodes, I'm really excited because we're watching like the live viewers joining in every week, and I'm really excited for that. So it's because of you guys that you're making this a lot more fun, and I love it. And honestly, to Ian and Savannah, Sundays are my best week, or my favorite day of the week. And they really fucking are. I can't even begin to tell you. I'm always going to tell you that every episode. Like, after I have a long work week, this is the best day to, like, relax and read and get to talk to you guys about it. So, I really appreciate it.
So, and who knows what I'll be next Sunday. So, tune in.
We need to start dressing up a lot more. We need to start doing that.
Because I'm wearing horns. I wore a dinosaur onesie. I'm doing this for you guys, so you better...
That's it. Dude, I lost a perfect opportunity to wear my Kamala Khan shirt tonight. I'll do it next week.
Oh. Burn.
Damn it. Anyways, so this was Your Mom's Basement, episode 5. Even if you missed it, it's going to be archived on the YouTube. So go find us over there and all that good stuff. I love you guys. This was a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys later. I'll catch you guys in a little bit after we go off the air. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.